Hello friends, welcome back to my channel, Craft Plan Write. For those of you that are new here, welcome. My name is Maggie, and today I'm going to actually coffee dye paper and use two different methods to dry them, oven dried and air dried. Some of the supplies you'll need, of course, is coffee. You can use PERKED coffee or instant coffee. I'm going to be using PERKED in my video today. Some standard copy paper, any kind of blank paper is fine. Also using printed paper, which will be available for you to download for free down below in the description box. I really like how these turn out. I'm also using a glass container like a baking pan and a paintbrush to swirl away the coffee. I'm using 3 baking sheets. I just use these for coffee dyeing. They're kind of roughed up, so when I use them over and over again, they work out really well. You'll need to set your oven to 325 degrees. So what I do is I start out with the old glass pan for coffee dyeing paper. I have my paper, my painting brush. Obviously I only use it for coffee dyeing paper. And my cup of coffee. So now I'll go ahead and show you the air drying process that I use. So to give the paper more of a antique vintagey look, what I do with the printed paper, here's the freshly printed paper. I put it into the coffee dyed. I spread it around with the coffee, and I actually let this sit for a few minutes, maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes. After I soak the paper in the coffee, I went ahead and I laid down 2 old towels that I had, and it's still early, so the sun's still not fully shining on the paper, but that's the intent, is to dry it with the hot sun. And I have about 19-20 pages spread out. So this batch has already been sitting in the sun, laid out for close to 45 minutes. It's they're dry, but some of it's still a little bit wet. And I have 19 pages. So 19 pages, 45 minutes, and they're not completely dry. So now I'll show you my oven drying process. So I pour a little bit of the coffee into the pan. I just put the copy paper, I pour a little bit, and I just swirl it around, and I usually do 3 at a time. I don't even time it. I just stick them in, repeat the process. There's really no skill to this. It's just soaking up the paper a little bit. I don't let it soak overnight. Just whatever it manages to get on the paper in this few seconds of sitting in the liquid. I'm going to attempt to do this with one hand. Just shake it out. Stick it onto the pan. When the pan's hot, it makes a nice sizzling effect on the paper. I've been doing this for a little while now. So it makes these kind of bubbles. It's really nice. It gives the edge a darker look. So then I'll just stick these in the oven real quick. I never close the oven door. Just makes the process go faster. Oven's at 325, and then I just wait a few minutes. So this batch I'm actually drying in the oven on a hot day. So the noise you hear in the background is my fan going. It's pretty early this morning, so, but it's already warm. So it's just been just a couple of minutes, and I always tear them in threes like this. So what I'll do is, if it's a little moist, I stick it up there just for a few seconds while I take this tray out. I'll put it on the counter, put another piece of paper, and rotate. I just kind of go in a rotation here, and because the bottom ones actually dry quicker than that top. So that's my process. So I'm going to actually show you how to coffee dye the printed and bake dry it. I've showed you how to air dry it, or what it looks like when it's air dried. So I'm going to go ahead and just include the same printed pages in the baked dry batch. So the process is exactly the same. So this is just right out of the oven. I love the crunchiness. And this is a ledger paper that I just printed the image on. Coffee dyed it, and there you go. I mean, it just looks so vintage. You know, just fold it in half and put it in a junk journal. I have managed to oven dry. There's 15 coffee dyed pages here. These are done, and I have 3 more in the oven. So just to give you an idea of what the paper looks like, here's during the air drying process. Here's after the air drying process. Here's both oven and air dried paper. Here's the printed oven dried. So that's the process. I actually prefer oven drying the coffee dyed paper for the colors. The way that it dries, it just gives it a look of different textures, the different shades of the coffee color. So for the printables, actually in the description box, I'm going to go ahead and leave a link to where you can get these pages to download and print for yourself and use them in your coffee dyeing process, whether you air dry it or oven dry. Well, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more of my content in the future, be sure to hit the subscribe button and notification bell. I hope you have a wonderful day. Happy crafting, and bye for now.